Morning viewers and welcome to another on-site SA soccer show. Paul is away in Dubai for the World Cup Festival, so joining me this morning is our regular super sub and Manning Rangers League winner Gavin. Thanks for coming in.
Nice to be here, Butch. Good to be back in the studio. Hope we can find some winners.
Let's hope so. We've got to kick off with Bafana, Gav.
I think Baxter, you got to give him some credit for getting the boys through.
Yeah.
I think it's long overdue that we get back into some major tournaments. I think the guys were really up for the game. I think it was a good game for the guys. I mean, they need to learn how to become more competitive and up for the big occasions. But yeah, well done to everybody.
Yeah, I thought Dane Key, especially in goals, was superb. You know, you knew from the beginning they were going to put up and unders and crosses into the box.
Yeah, I think the boy Percy Tau, he's only been gone for a short while out the country, but you can see he's developed his game a lot as well. So he's a nice player. It's good
I agree, he was superb. What I liked about him, left foot, right foot. Most people we see around the world have only got one foot. But,
he's turning into a really nice player. I think it won't be long before Brighton call him back.
Yeah, I agree with that. But congratulations to the guys. Our last one standing resumes this weekend. We have 161 entries. The people have all been sent their previous picks. So guys, when you're ready, send them to me. Our UK correspondent, Stevie B. Steve, are you with us? Steve, how are you going in the studio there?
I'm fine, thank you. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Steve, we've got to kick off, obviously, with the Nations League. Impressed with England?
Yeah, you say impressed. I mean, look, they absolutely, they did what they had to do. I mean, in the end, convincing wins, sort of 5-0 and 5-1. Obviously, a little hiccup against Montenegro against the run of play. But to be fair, they weren't outstanding performances. But I think they just showed that they were a class above both of those teams. But we're in a relatively weak group. Mm-hmm. But I think you could only beat the teams that put in front of you. And I think to score 10 goals, clear at the top of the table, I think that's all could be asked of them.
Yeah, I do like what Gareth Southgate's doing. He's playing a lot of the younger guys, getting him to think the way he thinks. And, one holding midfield player and 5 attackers, I think is working well. I think it looks good for England.
I think you're right. I think it's sort of brave of him to sort of blood some of these younger players, and it's great experience for them. And, as you say, you've got these players like Jordan Sancho and Callum Hudson-Odoi. They play without fear. I mean, and it's great. And actually, Raheem Sterling looks a different player. Apart from doing what he does, he just looks has got so much more confidence on the ball, and every time he attacks, he looks like he's going to either assist or score. So no, it's I think that at the end of the day, when you look back at the results, I mean, they were the 2 very good ones.
Yeah, Steve, there's still trouble with that Emiliano Sala. The Cardiff Nantes situation. What's happening with that?
Yeah, this is going to run for a while now. I mean, Cardiff have made it very clear that they don't feel that they should be paying. They don't think that the paperwork was completed properly. There's a lot of factors at stake here, and I think it will go legal. Nantes are saying that everything was done. Cardiff are saying it wasn't done. No one seems to know quite sure whose liability the insurance is. So I think that this one will run for some time and will no doubt end up in court somewhere.
Yeah, what a shame. Steve, on to the Premiership this week. Obviously, a couple of big games. Liverpool-Tottenham. How do you see that going?
That really is the big game, and for both those teams. I mean, Liverpool cannot afford to slip up. It's not going to be easy for them. I mean, you have to assume that Man City are going to win at Fulham comfortably Saturday lunchtime, so they're going to go back to the top of the table. Yeah. Liverpool have to match City now, match for match, and Tottenham, are going to feel that they can't afford to keep slipping because they're not far, ahead of the teams chasing them. So, after the international break, you never always know how things are going to fare. Tottenham obviously got an injury, Eric Dyer, whether he would have started or not, but he's definitely out injured. Liverpool may have lost Trent Alexander-Arnold, so there's one or two little niggles, but I think that's going to be a great game. I think neither team can afford to lose, and hopefully that won't stop it being an entertaining game. But I think there'll be goals, and I think it's going to be very close. Yeah.
Talking of close games, the Brighton-Southampton game. How do you see that one?
Yeah, I mean, both teams are sort of perilously close to the bottom. Brighton's home form is the thing that sort of kept them just out, away from that bottom three.
Yeah.
Southampton have sort of maybe flattered us even a little bit under the new manager. I think that's going to be close. I think that's either going to be, I don't think it'll be any more than one goal in it. I'm not sure Southampton will win at Brighton, although, Brighton have obviously got one eye now on the FA Cup, but I don't think they can afford to take their eye off the ball in the league.
Yeah, I think that's a close one too. Another close game, Burnley-Wolves.
Yes, again, Burnley have had a wobble. Burnley looked as if they would sort of pulled themselves away, but they're sat right back in it. Wolves are playing, have been playing very well, look very good in the Cup. Whether or not, again, the following week they can have one eye on the Cup and rest one or two, they're pretty safe. I think that will be close. I don't see Burnley winning, but you just don't know with them. Sean Dyche knows what he has to do to get out of trouble, and it's their home form. So I think, again, that's going to be a close game. There won't be more than one goal in it. Yeah,
Wolves play Man United in the league game on Wednesday, I think it is. So you never know what he's going to do.
There's a few rearranged games because of the Cups. So, the international break, as we always say, doesn't always come at the right time. And now we're at the business end of the season, and there are no breaks now apart from the FA Cup games. So, we've got every week. You've now got the sort of big fixtures, which is what we want. Having 2 weeks without sort of Premier League football, I think teams want to get back into it now.
Okay. And last but not least, Steve, West Ham, Everton.
Yeah, again, this is a funny. Like Everton. I think they were my tip to surprise everyone and beat Chelsea recently.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get with them. They've been very inconsistent this year. Probably more disappointing than most teams around them. And again, with West Ham, they were shocking for 75 minutes against Huddersfield, and then finally woke up and got 3 late goals. I think there'll be goals there. Hard one to call again. You just don't know what you're going to get with those teams. They're both safe. They're not going to finish much higher than where they are. They're not going to finish a lot lower. So, hopefully it'll be an entertaining game.
And if there is an upset, Steve, you've got a Soccer 13 carryover. Will be about 30 million rand reportedly. Any upsets you find in the Premiership this weekend?
I can't see. You've got, you're not Fulham aren't going to upset City. I can't see Watford with one eye on the Cup going to United and causing an upset. I don't think there's going to be any sort of big upsets. West Ham might beat Everton, whether some people might see that as a bit of a mini upset. But I can't see the big teams losing this week against a smaller team.
Okay. Steve, on to the Championship, which is really hotting up. Big game, obviously, Saturday night, Middlesbrough-Norwich. You see Middlesbrough getting back?
Norwich are up there, and again, you're going to get goals with them. Middlesbrough keep things tight, but they've fallen away. They're nowhere near challenging now any of the top few teams, and I think they might even struggle to hang on to a playoff place. I think if Norwich can go there and play with a sort of attacking verve that they can and win that, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, Sheffield United, Bristol City, that should be a cracker.
Yeah, well, I think watching Sheffield United last time out against Leeds, the first half an hour you thought Leeds were going to score at any moment, but they dug in there in the second half. They played well. They really surprised me. In the end, they did very well. I think that's a game. They got themselves up into the top 2. I think Sheffield United will win that. I think Bristol have just started to. I think it shows they haven't quite got the strongest squad, and the last few games they haven't won enough. So I think Sheffield United, will carry on and win that and stay in the top 2.
Okay, can Martin O'Neill's team get back to winning ways again at home against Swansea?
I think they will. Swansea, were exceptional in the FA Cup, played really well, but in the league, very inconsistent, and away from home, they don't travel very well. Forest have got to convert some of these draws into wins. I think they're very close to a playoff place, and I think they'll do that. I think they'll win. They won't win comfortably, but I think they're going to win that one.
Yeah, another team making a push is Steve Bruce's Sheffield Wednesday. You think they can go and upset Stoke?
I think they can. I'm not sure they've quite got enough left to get into a playoff place, but Steve Bruce has got them playing very well. They're hard to beat. They've been on a really good run recently. Stoke, as we know, very disappointing. They're not going to be easy to beat. I think that's going to be close, but if there was to be a winner, I think it could be Wednesday. Okay,
and my boys pressing, can we continue our far and away run at Reading?
Well, I think, as you know, they seem to be playing better away from home most of the time. Reading, again, are in that position. They can't afford to lose. But if there was to be a winner, if Preston play as they can, I wouldn't be surprised if North End could go there and get a result.
Well, let's hope so. And finally, Steve, the Friday night game, which we won't be seeing, West Brom at home to Birmingham City.
Well, look, I mean, this is the derby, and obviously, West Brom have struggled at home. It's really crazy. They're sort of away from home, they're strong. At home, they're struggling. They're not going to challenge the top three now, but they have to consolidate their playoff place. Birmingham, as we know, have now lost those 9 points for FFP. They're in a difficult position. They're only just above the relegation zone. So you don't know whether that will make them more determined or actually put them under more pressure. I think that it will be a close game, and there won't be much in it. But I think you'd think that West Brom would be a little bit too strong. But then, having sort of sacked their manager, who had done relatively sort of well for them before, you don't quite know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Steve, no problem. I'm sure you'll be at the Fulham Man City game tomorrow?
I will be, yeah. I mean, it's if nothing else, it's an opportunity to see some of the Premiership's best players. I can't see... I mean, having said that, I mean, Fulham have played well in patches in their last few games under Scott Parker. They gave Liverpool a good game, gave Chelsea a very good game. I don't think it'd be quite as close against City if City play as we know they can, and it sounds like they may have one or two of their big names sort of back who were rested after the international break. I think it'll be a comfortable win, but Fulham have got nothing to lose now. I mean, they're all but relegated, so they might as well have a go and try and make it entertaining.
Yeah, also I think lunchtime kickoff suits you, international week as well.
I mean, look,
so
it's not the best time, Saturday lunchtime, but it's as I say, I think now for Fulham it's all about looking at the players that they think are going to stay next season, getting the sort of management structure depending on who they want. They've recruited a new assistant coach. They've recruited a new head scout. So it looks as if they're putting things in place ready for next season now. Yeah,
makes sense. Steve, thanks very much for your information and obviously your input. Keep well and we'll speak to you next week.
Absolutely. Have a good week.
Likewise, Steve. All the best.
Cheers.
Gav, Premiership.
Well, tough weekend coming up for the guys' budgets. Like Steve said, I mean, teams now have to produce.
Yeah.
You're in that final straight now, so whoever slips up, they can cost you positions in the log, getting you into trophies and getting you out of trophies.
Yeah.
So Man City have the first game up.
Yeah.
I think they will win. They'll beat Fulham. It puts a little bit of pressure on Liverpool for the next day, but a big game coming up for Liverpool. Very big game.
We'll pull the fixtures up now, as you say, 14-1 Fulham. It really is hard to see them upsetting Man City. And I looked at the bets. I looked at Man City to win both halves, to score in both halves. It's just the odds are just so short.
No, they've got players in every position twofold. So, I mean, I was looking at the internationals during the week, and I think Man City players were playing all around the world in the internationals. They just got so much class. I just can't see Fulham even competing.
Yeah, no, they cannot. Now, big game, Brighton, Southampton. Both teams are round about the playoff places. How do you see that going?
Well, I've always been a bit of a Southampton fan. I think they pass the ball around nicely. They've got some good players. They coached very well. It looks like they look like they're a fitter team this year. Yeah. Just hasn't the rub of the green hasn't gone for them, but I think they can get something out of this game against Brighton.
So do I. They shouldn't have lost to Man United at Old Trafford. They beat Tottenham 2-1 at home. They've got nothing to fear. I like the coach, Ralph Hasenhüttl. He goes for it.
Yeah, he is one of those managers that doesn't want to settle for a draw. You'd rather win the game than draw the game. And I think at 2-1 at the price, I think is a fair bet.
Yeah, and Brighton haven't been playing well. They were lucky. They beat Millwall in a penalty shootout in the FA Cup. They were 2-0 down. The goalkeeper threw one in injury time to get them there. I fancy Southampton, the two teams. Now, this will be a desperate game, Burnley-Wolves.
Well, I can't believe that... looking at what Steve has to say, I think Wolves played exceptionally well against United. Yeah. They stopped us from playing. Burnley flat to deceive. Like Sean Dyche is battling to get his team to get some consistency. Yeah. Again, Wolves you would think would win this, but they do have the FA Cup coming. Yeah. They are safe in the league, so I would go Wolves to win the match, win and draw. I think that's a fair bet for them. Yeah, so do I. The only thing is that the Portuguese midfield two players, João Moutinho and Ruben Neves, they both played for Portugal, so you never know if they're a little bit tired. Burnley have lost the last four. It's not an easiest place to play, but of the two teams, I fancy Wolves. Now, here is the game of the week that looks an absolute certainty. But I remember last year, when we had our last one standing, the first competition, Huddersfield went to Crystal Palace and beat them 3-0. Yeah, I think it's one of these games where it's either Crystal Palace, you all in,
Yeah.
or you got to go wide. And I think most people in the exotics will go wide, or I would go wide, because Huddersfield got nothing to play for, so they might just go out there and enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And show they get an early goal, maybe the things would go for them, because Palace aren't the greatest team around.
No.
But if Saha plays for them, I think Crystal Palace will be on the money.
Yeah, that's the key. He went for the Ivory Coast. They were playing in one of the AFCON qualifiers, but he never played. And you know the record. I think they've won 1 and lost 11 of the 12 games that he hasn't played. For me, it's got to be Crystal Palace. But that's why he's playing up front for Belgium. He looks good. Huddersfield were unlucky against West Ham. They conceded 3 late goals, but surely Crystal Palace. But I agree, this could be the bogey game of the weekend. Now, Leicester have won their last 3 under Brendan Rodgers. Bournemouth away from home, their last 10 games. They beat Huddersfield and lost the other 9. Leicester for you?
Yes, Leicester for me. I think Leicester 8 to 10, good value. Coach has come in there, he's turned them around. He's got a little bit of confidence back in the team again. Vardy scoring goals, the talisman for them. So I think Leicester at 8 to 10 is a good bet.
Fancy them. I think both teams to score, there's a certainty. Now, Man United, we've lost our last 2. Against Arsenal, I didn't think we deserved to lose, but we never, we didn't score, so we can't complain. And I thought we were terrible against Wolves. We've won the last 7 home meetings with Watford. Do you think this is 8?
Yeah, I think we should win this game. We're at home. I think the guys are driving forward. We need to be in contention to hold on to that 3rd and 4th spots. I think Spurs have got a big game against Liverpool. So if Spurs slip up, we close the gap on 3rd or 4th place. So we've got to win games like this, and I think we'll win this game.
Yeah, we should, but my concern here is there's a lot of injuries. Rashford didn't play for England. Lukaku didn't play for Belgium. Martial pulled out of the French team. We've got a lot of injuries. If they're back, it shouldn't be a race. And Watford's away record isn't the best, but if United can't win this, then we can't get in the top 4. Now, West Ham, Everton. Everton have come right. I dislike the performances. Apparently, they've got 2 injuries. A left back, Digne's out, and Yeremina got injured for Colombia, which will affect them. West Ham, I just don't know what to make of them. I know at the Olympic Stadium they're hard to beat, but I don't know. I think a draw's a player here.
Yeah, draw's a big player. But saying that, Everton, one of those teams, they seem to play better away from home. It seems to be like no pressure on them, or the crowd gets to them, and they get quite a few good results away from home. But like you say, a draw for this game looks all over. Yeah, I think maybe both teams to score 1-1, 2-2, something like that. I think, but a draw is a big runner here. Yeah.
Now, a big game, obviously, this is an early kickoff on Sunday, and the clocks have fortunately gone back on Saturday night. Cardiff-Chelsea. Now, Chelsea away from home, their chances against Everton to be 2 or 3-0 up. The moment they went 1-0 down, they evaporated.
Yes.
Cardiff?
You would think Cardiff would be the team that would be relegated this year. So you put the 2 of them on paper, and you would think Chelsea, this is a formality, put 3 points in the bag. But Cardiff are fighting. They're digging in deep. The manager's got them running, chasing. Chelsea, on the other hand, always seems to be a problem in the camp for some reason or other. But I think just a little bit of class at the end of the day will get Chelsea through this game. I know they're going to travel to Wales, but I think Chelsea will sneak it.
Yeah, you've got to fancy Chelsea to beat Cardiff. Now, the big game, obviously, Liverpool-Tottenham. I still think Liverpool can come and win the league. I know all us Man United fans don't want it, but I've had a look at the run-ins. They just need City to slip up. Tottenham always struggle against Liverpool. Now, Liverpool's last 11 home games, they've won 10 and drawn 1. Liverpool too good?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal home record that they've got at the moment, Liverpool. I mean, as Man United fans have to give them credit for that. Yeah. So, I mean, they really put a good setup. I mean, Van Dijk's come at the back and he's sewn it up for them, so they're not conceding. Spurs can win it for Liverpool or for City, because they're playing both of them, and they're playing City in 3 games in 8 days, so that could go their way. It's a tricky game for Liverpool, but I expect them to win this one.
Yeah, so do I. Just worry about the back, Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, they've got some good players, Spurs, but just worry about defensively.
Yeah, they're no pushover, Spurs. I think they've got some really
they've got players to upset them.
I really fancy Harry Kane. I wish he would do the right thing and come to United.
Yeah, I doubt that very much. Now, the last game's a Monday night game, Arsenal-Newcastle. Arsenal have won their last 9 at home. Will this be 10?
Yeah, I think they're too good for Newcastle. Newcastle play hot and cold. At home, they're very competitive, passionate crowd. I think it's 55,000 each week. But Arsenal, on the other hand, they've got a little bit of class about them. I think Ozil's come back into the team again. He seems to be playing, he has to try and prove something. I think Arsenal will be too good.
Yeah, so do I. On to the championship where we kick off on the Friday night. It's West Brom versus Birmingham. Local derby.
Yeah, West Brom for me. Most of my bets on weekends, I've got West Brom, especially when they're at home. I think they've got a little bit of class. I think they've got one of those teams that are looking for promotion.
Yeah.
They want to be back up in the Premiership. You can see the way they play. I think they'll be too good for Birmingham.
Strangely, their home record is terrible of late. They've won more games away from home than they have at home. Birmingham City, a Steve relegation fight, and Gary Monk, the ex-Swansea manager's there. They're not going to lie down, but I agree. It should be Watford. Now, Aston Villa, since Jack Grealish has come back, they've won their last 4. Too good for Blackburn?
Yeah, Aston Villa seem to have found their feet. The last couple of weeks, they've really dug in. They've got some good results. I don't think Blackburn can compete with them at this stage. The youngster Grealish has really done well for them. He's turned the whole team around. They always talk about players not making a team, but he's really done wonders for the team.
Derby County, this time of year, I think the last 3 seasons, they've been in playoff places. They have a bad run. They've won 1 out of 7. They play a Rotherham team who are struggling just above the relegation zone, but they've only lost 2 out of 9, Rotherham. How do you see this?
Yeah, Derby, one of those teams that when you're expecting them to win and put good results in, they seem to let you down. They just seem to concede too many goals.
Yeah.
They're a good team. I mean, they're well coached. They've got a good manager. So, I would think Derby win a game like this, but I would throw the draw on just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, so would I. Just don't trust Derby at the moment. Now, Ipswich are tailed off. They've drawn 6 and lost 1 of the last 7, but Hull City away from home have been terrible.
This is a bad game. I mean, you don't want to be involved in a game like this. I would lean towards the home team and the draw, just purely because it's the home team. I don't have any confidence in either of these teams. But I'd go Ipswich on the draw because they're fighting hard to get out of it. Yeah,
I just don't see them. Hull City, they were 2-0 up previous week and cruising when we went for them, and they ended up drawing 2-2. A lot of complaints from the fans. They haven't renewed Fraser Campbell, their main striker's contract. So there's a lot of bitterness in Hull. So if ever there's an upset in the championship, it could be that one. Now we go on to Leeds United versus Millwall. Leeds going well. They're a point off the the automatic promotion. Millwall struggling. How do you see it?
Yeah, struggling Millwall. A Leeds United team that's free scoring.
Yep.
I think they'll be too good. Should be a banker in all bets this weekend, Leeds United.
Yeah, I agree. They should be too good for Millwall. Now Nottingham Forest, Martin O'Neill, Roy Keane they lost their last home game to Aston Villa, but prior to that they've been good form. Swansea lost the last 5 away from home. Gap 13-10.
Yeah, a good price. I mean, 13-10 for Forest and a team that's showing good home form.
Yeah.
Swansea lost their last 6, like you say, away from home. You would think that Forest would be too good for this. I know Mervyn Humphreys will have a bet on.
Yeah, Swerve's team.
On them. Yeah, they'll be going.
Yeah. QPR, Bolton, both going the wrong way. Steve McLaren's QPR, they've only won 1 out of 9. Now Bolton away from home are terrible. But I just see this morning that the club's been taken over. There look certainties to get relegated. 7-10, would you take QPR that price?
Yes, I'll take the 7-10 QPR, especially when a team is on its way out. There's a lot of trouble with the players. I mean, you would think that a QPR side at home would get a result like this. When you're struggling, you're really struggling. Everything seems to go against you when you travel. And you've got a poor away record. So, yes,
QPR
it
should
for
be.
me.
7-10. I just think they're a little bit short for a team that are struggling. Now, Reading are desperate. They're a couple of points above the relegation zone against Preston North End. Now, Preston, we've won our last 6 away from home.
Yeah, it's one of the best away records in the league. I think Preston. I think the supporters want them to play away every week because they get results. I think Preston will shade this one. I think the away record and their form will stand up. I think they'll get a result.
Well, let's hope so. We're only a point off the promotion places, so let's hope we can get a result. Because our next 3 games, we've got Sheffield United, Leeds, and West Brom. So if we don't get a result here, our playoff hopes are under pressure. Yeah, our last page in the championship, we've got Sheffield United, who have won the last 8 at home against Bristol City. Formality?
I don't say it's a formality because Bristol City side do score goals. But Sheffield United are the form team, really playing well. You kind of like put your banker on them when you look at the bets to come for the weekend. Home team stands up well. Bristol side, that's the last 8 away games. I mean, they haven't produced all the results that they want. But yeah, I would definitely be going Sheffield United.
Yeah, you've got to fancy Sheffield United. 7-10 looks a good bet. Now, Stoke City, since they've taken the new manager, 7 league games. They've won 1 and drawn 6. They've only scored 4 goals. Now, since Steve Bruce has taken over at Sheffield Wednesday, they're unbeaten in 11.
Yeah, it's amazing what new managers do when they come to teams that either works for you or goes against you. Stoke team, I've really been burnt this year with Stoke, when I think they're going to get results for us for this. They just seem to fall away. No consistency, really lacking. Where the other side, Steve Bruce has come in, made some sweeping changes to the team, got some confidence back in the players, and they look like they're on the way up. He'll be fighting, hoping for 1 or 2 results to go his way to get closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, if ever it's under 2.5 goals and 2-1 the draw, that looks to play there. Now, Wigan Athletic, they've been out of form, but at home, they're unbeaten in 6. Now, Brentford are going, well, the middle of the table, have had a bit of a rocky run, but away from home, they're terrible. 21-10 looks a big price.
Yeah, they're both big prices in this game, but I'm leaning towards the draw in this game. You know, Brentford as well. I mean, good side to watch. What we've seen of them on our local TV stations, but for me, the draw is a big run in this game.
Yeah, you know, especially Wigan only a couple of points above the relegation places, so they'll try and give nothing away. Now, the last game is the big one. Middlesbrough, they've lost their last 4. They've lost the last 4. Norwich have won 8 out of 9. The international break, I read the manager Daniel Fox comments. He wasn't happy with it, but nothing he can do. How do you see that one?
No, for me, I like Norwich. I think they'll get promoted this year. I think they'll win this match. Middlesbrough flattered to deceive. As soon as you think they're going to put a run together, they seem to stumble, so there's no consistency. Where a Norwich team, home and away, they just seem to be getting the results. And when you get promoted and you're looking for the league titles, you get these 1-0s, 2-1s away from home. Yeah. And I think that's what Norwich will do this weekend.
Yeah, I think it draws a big player there too. But you know, Tony Pulis has always been a defensive first manager. He's gone in there. They just lack strikers to score the goals, obviously.
Yeah, I think 15-10 for Norwich is a big price. Normally on the weekends you're getting 8-10, 6-10 for them.
You know, away from home, you fancy them away from home. That's the value.
Yeah.
On to our local football, where it's the Nedbank Cup quarterfinals. We had a game last night where TS Galaxy and your old teammate, Dan Malasela, his team went to Cape Town and beat Cape Umoya 2-1.
Yeah, Dan, nice player, Dan, in his day. I think he's done well and been lucky as a coach as well. So it's good to see his teams that he's coaching doing well and pushing through to the next round. Yeah, I think he's a nice young coach that can develop young players.
Yeah, he was at Chipper United, I think he was.
100%.
You know. On to obviously the Saturday. The first game is Bloem Celtic against Arrows. Now, Steve Compella goes back to Bloemfontein, his old team where he walked out of them. They got a chance, Arrows?
I don't like Arrows on the road, to be honest. I think Bloem Celtic is very hard to beat. I think they've sorted out all their problems that they're having up there in Bloem. Very difficult side to go and beat away from home. I'm leaning towards Bloem Celtic and the draw. Yeah,
I think the draw's a big player there, 19-10. Now, Bidvest Wits, I know they've had 1 or 2 inconsistent results. Surely they've got to beat Chipper at home.
Yeah, Gavin's been pulling his hair out. He's got such a good side. Again, it's coming back to haunt them. The games that they should have won in the league, they should be on top of the table quite clearly. Good couple of points clear, but the inconsistencies let them down. I can't see them losing to Chipper United at Mill Park. I think they'll be up for this game, but chance for them to get some close to some silverware this year. Yeah, that looks the bet of the weekend in the Nedbank. And the last game's a cracker. Kaizer Chiefs. Now the game's being played in Nelspruit against Benny McCarthy's Cape Town City. Yeah, they want to move their KPs a little bit far out of town for this one. Yeah. Benny's done an exceptional job. I was a bit sceptical in the beginning of the year when he took over. Yeah. But he's done exceptionally well with Cape Town City. They're really competitive. Chiefs also flattering to deceive. Yep. Cracking game on the cards. I think Chiefs' Achilles heel at the moment is their goalkeeping area. They're very vulnerable there. This game could go anyway. The crowd's going to be in there in their droves there, I'm sure. I'm leaning towards Cape Town City in the draw here. Yeah. Well, they played in January in Joburg, and Cape Town City beat them 1-0. Yeah, they're very good side. They're very well balanced. I think Benny's got them going. I think he works a lot on his strikers because he's been a striker himself. I think he's worked on those players up front. Yeah, they seem to be making better decisions around the box. I think that they can do well, Yeah, I agree. Well. I think they'll squeak through. On to our soccer exotics for the weekend. We start with the PSL Soccer 6. I've gone the field in Bloemfontein Celtic and Golden Arrows. I've gone the field in the Serie A clash between Udinese and Genoa. I've sided with Southampton win and draw at Brighton. I think Man United will be too good for Watford. I've gone Norwich City in a tight game, win and draw at Middlesbrough, and I think Bidvest Wits will beat Chipper 2-1-6. That's a good soccer 6 to get involved. On to the English one. I've gone the field in the Brighton-Southampton game. I've gone Wolverhampton Wanderers, as much as I fancy them, win and draw at Burnley. I've banked Crystal Palace to beat Huddersfield. I've sided with
with Leicester City win and draw against Bournemouth. I've banked Man United to beat Watford, and I've gone the field in the West Ham Everton game, 2-1-6 there. On to our Soccer 10. I've banked Man City to beat Fulham. I've gone the field in the Bloemfontein Celtic Golden Arrows game, likewise the Udinese Genoa game. I've gone Southampton win and draw at Brighton. I've gone for Wolves to get a positive result at Burnley. Onto the second page, I've banked Crystal Palace to beat Huddersfield. I've gone Leicester City win and draw at home against Bournemouth. I've banked Man United to beat Watford. I've sided for Everton to get a result at West Ham, and I've banked Bidvest Wits to beat Chipper United 288. On to the Soccer 13, I've gone Man United to beat Watford. I've gone Southampton win and draw at Brighton. Likewise, Wolves win and draw away at Burnley. I've banked Crystal Palace to beat Huddersfield. I've gone Leicester City win and draw at home against Bournemouth. I've gone Everton win and draw at West Ham. I've banked Aston Villa to beat Blackburn Rovers. The second page, I've banked Leeds United to beat Millwall. I'll put the field in the Middlesbrough Norwich City game because I think Nottingham Forest will be too good for Swansea. Likewise, Preston North End, I think they'll be too good for Reading. And the last two games, I've gone Sheffield United win and draw at home against Bristol City, and I've gone Sheffield Wednesday win and draw at Stoke City, 326 Rand. On to our budgies bets for the weekend, our Premiership quartet. I've gone Wolves to beat Burnley. I've gone Everton to win or draw at West Ham. Likewise, Southampton to win or draw at Brighton. And I'll keep all my Liverpool mates happy. As looking for value, I've gone Liverpool to win the Premier League. They're 21-10, so 16-1, 3,200 to 200. On to our Championship quad, I've gone Notts Forest to beat Swansea. I've gone Preston to win at Reading. I've gone Sheffield United win and draw at Stoke City, and I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Leeds United Millwall game. Onto the Nedbank, where we've got treble here. I've gone Bidvest Wits to beat Chipper. I've gone Golden Arrows to win and draw against Bloemfontein Celtic. And I've taken 9-2 Cape Town City to win the Nedbank Cup. I think if they get past Chiefs, they'll beat everybody else 2,700 to 200. On to our both teams to score teams. I've gone Crystal Palace Huddersfield, Leicester Bournemouth, Liverpool Tottenham, Ipswich Hull City, and QPR Bolton. That worked out at 23-1, so 4,600 to 200. On to our Spanish quartet. I've gone Getafe to beat Leganes. I've gone Real Betis to win at Rayo Vallecano. I think Sevilla will beat Valencia, and I've gone both teams to score in the Levante Arbar game, 2,900 to 200. And on to our Collis King 6 or Nixa. I've gone Liverpool to beat Tottenham. I've gone Man United to beat Watford. I've got Aston Villa to beat Blackburn. I've gone Bidvest Wits to beat Chipper United. I've gone Juventus to beat Empoli, and Sevilla to beat Valencia, 3,300 to 200. On to my best bet for the weekend. I'm taking 13-10 Nottingham Forest to beat Swansea. And my best value bet, I'm taking Southampton at 2-1 to beat Brighton. Gav, how you up?
Well, I'm playing my players Leicester to be the best bets in the Premiership. I think Leicester will go close at 8-10. Aston Villa in the Championship, I think they'll do really well. And Wits to win their match in the Nedbank Cup. I think you should get about 3.5 to 1 for that.
Yeah. Okay, Gav. Well, thanks for coming in again.
Welcome, Butch.
And to all the guys on our last one standing, make sure you WhatsApp your picks to me by Saturday 10 a.m. Have a good, safe, and happy punting weekend. Goodbye.